death occurs daily, but gun violence death occurs about 100 times a day. Nationally, guns kill twice as many children and young people than cancer, and 5 times as many than heart disease. Most importantly, gun violence is one of the most preventable causes of death. Therefore, for 2014, I asked Congress to work on passing legislation for the safety of their citizens.
I believe very strongly that we need gun safety laws.
Yes, exactly. Too many mentally ill people are getting their hands on assault weapons. And I'm sure you know this because of the past tragedies that have taken many lives.
Ago, a student at the school walked in and opened fire.
Massacre at Virginia Tech.
A deadly shooting at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut.
Aurora Police Department is saying 14 people were shot this morning while watching that movie. 50 other people were shot and injured.
Tragedy in Tucson, a targeted attack.
Stricter gun laws have nothing to do with the Second Amendment or people bearing arms or having their own guns.
Safer gun regulations doesn't have to affect the Second Amendment at all. In fact, Barack Obama has come up with a great idea for Congress.
Now in January, just a few weeks after Newtown, I put forward a series of common sense proposals along the same lines as what's passed here in Colorado to reduce gun violence and keep our kids safe. But what I said then is still true. If we're really going to tackle this problem seriously, then we've got to get Congress to take the next step.
Is that after Sandy Hook, which happened a little bit over a year ago, I said at that time, if we cannot have reasonable or do not put into effect reasonable gun safety laws now, it'll never happen. When you have 20 children who are shot to death at close range, many of whom's heads probably blown off of their shoulders, and you don't do anything about it? Nothing. I mean, when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Not one syllable of gun legislation was passed. And if you don't do it under those circumstances, then when do you do it?
And you know, I thought it was going to be passed. I thought that after the several things that just recently happened in our country that really have just broken everybody's heart, that people will come to the plate and say, you know, enough is enough already.
The first thing that we can do is start by banning assault rifles.
Assault weapons are used for nothing but killing people. It's not about hunting for deer or rabbits. These weapons were made to kill people.
That, you know, assault rifles and repeaters and 30-clip magazines and all of that have nothing to do with hunting, nothing to do with protecting your home.
With banning assault rifles, we need to have better background checks so that mentally disabled people don't end up with deadly weapons in their hands. We need to ensure that the people with guns are responsible.
What a lot of gun control advocates see as the pillar of this effort, which is a universal background check.
Tougher background checks that won't infringe on the rights of responsible gun owners, but will help keep guns out of the hands of dangerous people.
Those are just a few easy steps that could lead us to become a safer nation. You never know when one day, one normal day, you or one of your loved ones could be affected by gun violence.
Not only, my nephew, Christopher, was a student at Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia. He lived about 50 yards from the school. One morning, almost 3 years ago now, 3 young men burst into his house to rob him. Knowing Christopher, he was a junior honor student. Knowing him, he worked hard for his money. He had a little lawn business that he paid for his tuition, paid for his clothes, everything. But knowing him, he probably resisted, and they killed him. I will go to my grave. I will go to my grave, remembering seeing his brains spattered on the walls of his room. I will never forget that.
My mom was murdered. And I can say that now without, somehow I can say it. But it never goes away. It never goes away. And the same thing comes to my mind, or I think about all the time, and I'm sure that's what families think about, it's the senselessness of it. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And she had rheumatoid arthritis, was in a wheelchair, and was not able to get out of the way of somebody that was on a rampage using drugs.
I've seen a lot of pain, but there's something about it happening to you. And so I have chosen to take my pain, turn it into a passion to do my purpose. Pain, passion, purpose. There are a lot of people who have the same passion. Why? Because they have been touched in a negative way by gun violence. And there's something about passion that causes people to go with everything they got. Why? Because they want to make a difference.
We'll never be perfect, but our imperfections are what make us prosper as Americans. Thank you for your time, and please help to push gun legislation in Congress for 2014.